This is a 2014 Peterbilt 579 and it's a truck then costed around 145,000 when it was new. Now as a used truck you can get one of these for around 50 to 74,000 depending the mileage and the year. As everybody knows, Peterbilts are known because they are very stable and very good with heavy loads. They're powerful and they had a lot of luxury inside. The only downside of this truck is the cost of the repairs, since this truck is very expensive to repair. The competitor of this truck is the Kenworth T680, but I personally like this one better than the Kenworth T680. So today I'm gonna show you around of this 2014 Peterbilt 579, and under the hood we have a Cummins ISX engine. There is two engines you can get with this truck. You can get the Paccar engine or the Cummins ISX. I prefer the Cummins ISX, but that will depend up to you, and also that will depend on the price of sale when it was new. Cummins ISX engines are more expensive than the Paccar engine, so if you get a 150,000 truck, you're going to have a Cummins ISX engine, but it will depend on the other packages that you have, type of transmissions, and stuff that is optional when you purchase the truck new. This engine has 425 horsepower with 1,650 pound-feet of torque, which is a pretty strong engine with a very limited fuel consumption, because this engine is for 25. It's pretty small. That's right, the fuel consumption of these trucks is pretty good. Other than that, it is just as any Cummins ISX engine. If you want to know common problems on a Cummins ISX engine, you can click the corner of this video over here where I want to leave the common problems on a Cummins ISX engine. So now it's time to close the hood. To close the hood on Peterbilt, you have to pull this lever and then close the hood. Now on the exterior of this Peterbilt, you get a lot of luxury stuff. You get this giant door, since you have the owner-operator package. In this case, this thing is locked. But the cool thing about this Peterbilt is then once you open the door, you have the locking power locks over here. You open this and it unlocks this door. That's cool. You have access to the bed and to the compartment below the bed, which is very cool. Also cool about this truck is then you have this compartment for the batteries. You can open these with the key, open it, and you have access to the batteries. This is pretty cool. I wish more trucks have this compartment. Also in the other side you get another door, another compartment door. Sadly this door you cannot open it. You have to use a key to open it, like this. That's the only downside of that, but you got access to the compartment on this side, which is very useful to have this side compartment. And also we have the cabin, which is pretty good. As you can see, most of the trucks nowadays are getting welded or getting glued together by some kind of material. In this case, Peterbilt is still using rivets. As you can see, rivets all over holding the cab. That's right, this cabin is so stable, so smooth, because everything on this cab is completely held with rivets. But that's the problem. This truck is heavy, and as we can see here, this is the weight of the truck. It's a pretty heavy truck, but that includes so much stuff because the suspension of this truck is pretty good. Since we have many different components that hold the rear axles, we have the control arm, the leaf springs, a torque arm, another torque arm over here, the airbag, and the sway bar over here. This makes this truck so smooth, so stable. That's right, this truck is so expensive when it's new, but holding loads, holding heavy loads with this truck, and you will find that this truck doesn't shake, doesn't move to one side or another. It is very planted over the road when you have heavy loads or when you don't have loads. Now moving to the interior of the Peterbilt, you wanna find a lot of luxury. This is the way it looks when you are in the cabin, when you are driving. This is the way, this is the amount of view you have. It is pretty amazing. You can see a lot of stuff. It is good view that you have. It will depend in the seating position that you are. Now the dashboard, we have many different gauges. This is the conventional gauge. I don't like this much because we don't have extra gauges over here. These are all the gauges you get with this Peterbilt. Sadly, for KWs and other brands, you got more gauges than this, but for some reason in this Peterbilt you just get this. But that is not the case if you have the optional navigation system over here. Now I'm going to start the engine. The cool thing about the navigation system on the Peterbilt or KW is that you have more stuff. You go to truck over here and you go to gauges, and you got different gauges that tell you about the truck. You got the regen, turbo, fuel consumption, temperature of the transmission, oil, and the percentage of torque of the engine, which is pretty important when you are hauling heavy loads. Now if you go back, you got the option to diagnose your truck. In this case there is no cuts active, that's right, you cannot press it, but whenever there is a cut, a check engine light or any other cut, you will be able to press this and know what kind of problem then you have with the truck. Now with this navigation system you got, of course, navigation, settings, more settings over here, audio and telephone. It's a pretty complete navigation system. You use this to control part of it. If you want, you can press this one and you go to truck, or you can use it by touchscreen. So it is you got two ways to use it. The navigation and the radio system aren't connected together, so they work at the same time. So extra stuff that you have besides this, you got another information in this screen of the dashboard. That's in case you don't have this navigation, you will have this dashboard over here with this screen. You will use this little scroll here and this little arrow. What you're gonna do is like scroll this down like this, and you're gonna go to different menus. Like we have here truck info, we have chassis. Okay, we click this one and we go to engine, and we got engine information, the software and some stuff like that. The same thing we do with this, with the ABS, with the chassis. And to go back, we just press this one, and now we scroll down to see other menus. This is all you get with this dashboard. But if you have the option to get this one, this is way better than just the dashboard. The sad part, as I said before, is you don't have gauges more than this. You have these gauges over here. In this case, KW is better. The KW 680, you have a long extension of gauges over here, which is better. But in this case, for some reason, this Peterbilt doesn't come. This 579 doesn't have this many gauges because it doesn't have room for extra gauges. All the controls are pretty simple. You have the radio controls over here, cruise controls over here, the trailer brake over here, very important, most Peterbilts come with it, windshield wiper and the turn signal and the high beam, headlights control over here, utility light and some extra, some illumination here. You got the illumination control of the dashboard. You got the jailbreak control over here. In this case, this truck doesn't have a manual fan activation. That's bad, but if you buy a truck, a specific truck like this, make sure that you have a manual fan, which is very important. It saves a lot of situations over the road. You got traction control, ABS off-road. I don't know why it says off-road, but well, I mean, I don't think anybody will go off-road with one of these trucks. But that's what it says. Spare, you can connect anything. Regeneration, dome of the bed, and the conventional switches over here. The suspension drop, fifth wheel, and axle. The three conventional switches then are very important. Make sure if you're getting a truck, then have these three switches. Also, we have the Camel Control here. The good thing about this one is that you have the specific amount of temperature. If you wanna have the specific temperature, you just switch to the temperature that you want. and it's pretty easy to know when the temperature is like 72. You can put 72. You don't want to be too cold or too hot, or you want to go too hot, you go to here or more. That's cool about this climate control, because all of them just have a really blue or red line over here. Doesn't tell you the temperature. In this case, it tells the temperature. One thing that I'm gonna mention about this, because this truck is very good at it, is then the clutch. The clutch is so soft. It is soft, just like a little car. You don't need to use any pressure to press this clutch. So soft, really good. KW and Peterbilt are using this clutch, this system of clutch, which is pretty good. Really good for drivers, especially when you are parking in a really tight area. And of course, we have a 13-speed transmission. No Peterbilt or no KW is a KW or Peterbilt without a 13-speed transmission. This is one of the best transmissions you can get for your Peterbilt or your KW. Of course, you have options to get 10 speed, 15 or 18, but that will depend of the person that bought the truck when I was new, or if you're planning to buy a truck new, you can order it with different transmission. But 13 speed is more than enough for this type of trucks. Also, we get a glove box over here. Compartments, 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 and compartments. Cool thing about this is then you have LED lights, which is pretty good. Really illumination from here to the passenger or to the driver, real illumination. I am 5'10" and I barely touch the roof. I am standing up right now. This is something that is critical for people that is taller than me. This is something that is bad because, you know, these Peterbilts have the low cap, as you can see, low cap, and you have the unit build construction. So you have this little step over here, so you have to be careful when you go through. But when you go in here, you got some extra room. You got more clearance over here. So this is the way the bed looks like. I'm sorry about this because the truck has been in a trip. That's why it's all theory. But I just wanted to show you how it looks like. You have the second bed and the main bed. Some lights, speakers, cabinets. In this case, we don't have a fridge. It's not included with this truck. The climate control on the back, we have it right here. More power outlets and some other controls than you get when you get this truck new. I like this little compartment over here. It's pretty cool. You got this compartment over here to store some stuff. Pretty cool. And that's about it. This is the Peterbilt 579. As I said before, it's a pretty amazing truck, really good looking truck. Really good for long trips, long haulers. If you buy it new, it's pretty expensive. If you buy it used, like this one, it's gonna be a good deal depending on what you want specifically. Peterbilt, as I said before, is a good truck over the road. Alright, so this is all I'm gonna show you about this Peterbilt 579. So the question is, do you wanna buy one of these trucks? As I said before, you can buy one of these trucks for around $74,000. It will be less if the year is lower, that for a 14, 15, or depending on the mileage and the equipment that you have on the truck. But I think that this is a pretty good purchase. Saying this truck is a pretty nice truck, and also it got pretty good capability of load. The problem is it's pretty heavy, and you have to make sure then whenever you're getting a load, you have the right load, especially if you're hauling flatbeds or reefers. So I hope you like this video. If you have anything to add to this video, you can use the comment section below. Questions, recommendations, or any experience about this truck, you can use the comment section below to share opinions with different people that want to buy this kind of trucks. If you want to send some support to my channel, you can check the video description below, so you can send some support or contributions to my channel so I can continue making helpful videos for everybody over the road. Also, if you want me to review your truck, brand new truck or a used truck, I can do it. You can check the video description below where I have details about it, so I can review your truck, or we can set something up to make something happen to review your truck. So like, share, subscribe, and thank you for watching.